that young man, no doubt quite disappointed that his hero is not here for a showdown with Lionel Messi and Barcelona. Cristiano Ronaldo will be in court on Monday after allegations of tax fraud. Reportedly, he wanted to leave the club earlier this summer, but the club president, Florentino Perez, later calmed those rumors. He publicly supported Ronaldo. Up until last night, organizers were hopeful that Ronaldo would be here. They did have a discussion. He told Dolphins owner Stephen Ross that he indeed wanted to be here, but he will not be here for El Clasico, as Gab Marcotti is here to explain the allegations against Ronaldo. It's a bit complicated, but in its simplest terms, what is he facing on Monday?
Well, in the simplest terms, obviously Cristiano Ronaldo earns a salary from Real Madrid, and he pays taxes on that. In addition to that, he's got a ton of endorsements, appearance fees. These go under the category of image rights. Some of those image rights, as part of his contract with Real Madrid, he shares with the club. Some of them are his to keep. And you can imagine, he's all over the world, so many different constituencies. A lot of times this money will be paid via third-party companies. There's pretty complicated tax structures put together to minimize his tax bill legally. But now the Spanish tax person is thinking, oh, look at this. It's like, wait, is some of this illegal? We're getting into some very, very complicated fiscal law here.
Let's look at the big picture, because this is something that Lionel Messi has faced. Again, the particulars are different. Neymar and his father will face. Messi, even though he was convicted of some of the charges, did not go to jail. So what, and it took several years for this all to play out. So realistically, Monday's hearing, he's not going to automatically go to jail anytime soon. And this is something that could take 4 years or more to decide, correct?
Theoretically, yes. What makes this case a little bit different to Lionel Messi's is A, the sums are much higher. And B, a few years ago, Cristiano Ronaldo made a full disclosure to the Spanish tax authorities saying that, look, these are all my worldwide assets. This is where we believe we have to pay taxes. This is wrong. Tell us, and blah, blah, blah. And he paid a penalty back then. Now, apparently, the accusation is that he has other streams of income which either weren't fully declared or which have since changed. He hasn't kept up to date on that. The fact that he made that disclosure beforehand, and I'm not a tax accountant here or a lawyer, but my understanding is it means it's going to be more difficult for him to go and really make a deal with the tax people. And so I think that's why some people are concerned. But in terms of going to prison, no, it's not going to happen.
Does this in any way, he just signed a huge deal with Nike, reportedly around $1 billion, which is just mind-boggling. Does this figure to have any impact on his popularity or on his sponsors?
I don't think it does, because look, in the end, people know Cristiano Ronaldo is a footballer. He's not a tax lawyer. He's not an accountant. I'm pretty sure he does not use some of those tax software packages and sits there at night doing taxes by himself. Whatever he did, people said to him, listen, if you do things this way, it's going to be more tax efficient and it's legal. And he trusted them because they were wearing a suit. Now there's some dispute about that, but nobody expects these people to go and do their own taxes.
Does it figure to be a distraction to Real Madrid?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think. I think the players know. He's not the first player in Spain to come along these problems,
Or the first celebrity.
Or the first celebrity, for that matter. I think they know what they're getting into. This is Cristiano Ronaldo. You're talking one of the biggest brands in the world. I don't think he'll have any implications when it comes to Nike, when it comes to his other image rights and whatnot, endorsements. I do think it's a missed opportunity not coming to the States for him. I think he wanted to be here. You look at David Beckham, and when he came here, and the seed he planted back then, he's the only player I can see coming in and having the same type of impact. And I know a player like Cristiano sees this as a very viable market.
But Max, he said that he felt the team didn't support him initially. Are you reading anything into the fact that Stephen Ross says, listen, I must not be privy to something that's going on, because it really doesn't make logical sense to him that Ronaldo's not here?
When I first heard that Ronaldo was looking for a change of scenery, and keep in mind, this is a guy who one day everything was going great. He was a player at Manchester United. He was winning. Said, hey, I want to go to Real Madrid. Turned out to be a great move. Turned out to be a move which brought him more trophies, and you could say indirectly helped lead to success in Portugal. I wouldn't rule it out that he may want to change the scenery. Whether it's been pushed by all this tax information, I hope to think that's not the case. I hope to think this is because a guy who always looks for a challenge is looking for the next thing. That said, this is another hurdle that you can put in front of him that perhaps, Gab, could accelerate things.
I think Cristiano, and even his biggest friends would say this, is he's not conventional. He
say it, Gab. Say it.
That's an interesting way to put it. He's somewhat of a mystery.
Yeah, he leads an unusual life. He's got unusual friends for the majority of people. He's very happy that way. He's very comfortable the way he is. And and he needs to feel love about him. That's one thing. People who've worked with him, people who've coached him, they all say that he needs to feel that loved and appreciated. Now, whether with a tax case, I don't know what he expected Real Madrid to do, to go and argue the case in court for him. But when that's missing, when he feels put to one side, I think that's when he can get upset. He did the same thing a few years ago when he went through a phase where he wasn't celebrating goals because he said he was sad, but only he knew why he was sad and whatever else. You gotta, he marches to the beat of his own drummer, and I think that's actually part of his popularity, is how secure the guy feels in the way he acts.
We heard Stephen Ross say in no uncertain terms, and a couple of times during that interview, he did say that he wants to be here. Why he's not here is a question, but there is no question that his summer has been very, very eventful, as he won Champions League back in early June, the final game of the club season. On the 8th, his twin son and daughter were born. Confederations Cup with Portugal, they finished third by the league, but he played very late into the summer for the entire first month till the end of June. Then he had his vacation, as he is entitled to. Then we come upon this El Clasico date. And again, with El Clasico on the 29th and the 31st set to be in court, it has been a very busy summer, and in those respects alone, perhaps understandable that he wasn't here.
Keep in mind, under FIFA, you're allowed a certain amount of time where you can take your vacation. Listen, he didn't sign a contract with the ICC. Real Madrid did. He's under no obligation to be here. And if he has a court hearing on Monday,
well, part of the negotiations, though, with the ICC and Real Madrid encapsulate the fact that the stars have to show up.
Right, and I'll ask you this, Gab. This is supposed to be a light year for Cristiano Ronaldo. Last year, kept busy with the European Championships. Next year, to be kept busy, in all likelihood, with the World Cup, where he's hoping to get that final trophy that's eluded him. There are such demands on him that this is the year where maybe you can get a week off, 2 weeks off to recharge for the new season. But that doesn't. His docket is full.
No question about it. And I think, this is part of who he is. A lot of athletes talk about how, well, I don't like endorsing too much. I don't like doing too much public work. Cristiano's always doing it. Why is he think funny? Go to his Instagram feed. It's like he's ubiquitous. He's around the world at the same time. This is part of who he is. And, I think he actually has a lot of affection for the U.S. I know, obviously, last summer he spent some of his holiday in L.A. He does stuff like this all the time. So I think if there's one thing you can say about him is, or what you can't say about him, rather, is that, he doesn't give back and he doesn't shy away from the public eye.